Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Let me edit something real fast. I forgot to add a bit of information about the Jack Daniel's Rye, and then I'll talk about what's coming up here. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye, introduced in 2017, is 70% rye. There, we got that saved. Okay. Now, we have Sazerac Rye whiskey. Some people say it's 51% rye, say it's aged 6 years. Well, I don't have an age statement on it. There's no official age statement, and there's no official mash bill. So I would have to call the other information hearsay or rumors. Could be true, but then again, if it's not definitive, I'm not going to post it. Anyway, I'm going to try to get this plastic off of here. That need to be on there. That was the seal. I got this bottle for, I'll have to cut that off later. All right. Real cork. Wooden cap. I got this bottle for $17.99. I can't even remember which store. I don't know if it was Total Wine or Dorgnac's or Rouse's, because they all had it for the same price. One store started it. All right, and then it was like this big price war. Everybody's competing to sell it for $17.99. The normal price is, well, the normal price was about $22. Now, some people around the country are talking about, yeah, it's pretty good for a $30 whiskey. Well, it's never been $30. It's never been that much here, okay? $30, no way. But I guess in some places it's high. Jack Daniel's Rye. Tennessee Rye, they call it. 70% rye to give you the percentage of rye. The rest would be corn and barley malt whiskey. Straight rye whiskey, and Sazerac is straight rye. So that means they're both aged in new charred oak barrels for a minimum of 2 years, and they're at least 51% rye. Well, it has to be 51% rye to be a rye whiskey, whether it's straight or just plain rye. So why ask why, say rye. Now, rye grain and a spicy character. Mellowed, sugar maple charcoal, matured, handcrafted barrels. All true. I like the finish on the label. It's sort of a matte finish, M-A-T-T-E. Beautiful plastic twist cap. Black plastic twist cap. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye, run you about the same price, about $22 a bottle. For some reason, they were selling it at Savannah discount for $11.98. True story. $11.98. So, of course, I bought my 750 milliliters of brown liquid. Okay, it's dark amber. It is not colored. Straight rye cannot have color added. Some whiskeys in America are allowed to have coloring added. Straight rye is not one of those. This one is a similar appearance. So they're both brown, tan, I guess you call it. Wait a minute. Make sure they're level. Yeah, it's level. Who's going to win? That's a good question. I was just watching Greg's beer reviews and got bored and saw you live. How do, Ronaroo? Well, you got bored. Well, I appreciate everybody watching, guys. So, anyway, I'm fine. How are you in California? I don't know who's going to win. I mean, I was happy with the Tennessee Rye. I did a duo review with David at River Ridge Hot Rods, and we liked it. And then I did a solo review later, and I liked it. And then it's fine, you know. But the Sazerac Rye, I tried that 5 years ago in a solo review. It was really good, and I drank the rest down. Then I brought more ryes in. I wanted to not, you know, I didn't want to neglect it, so I bought another bottle. I did not buy the first bottle. It was given to me by Sonia. Thank you. Unopened. I don't know why she didn't want to drink it. Somebody probably gave it to her and she didn't think she'd like it or something. So, okay, well, let's watch the language. You could delete that and repost without the language. Okay, now, here we go. Smells, you know, I mean, it smells like rye whiskey. Now, Sazerac, I got the link to Sazerac Company's website. So there you go. They show a picture of their unique bottle, talking about how awesome it is. There's the Jack's website showing their famous bottle design. Tennessee Rye, showing some rye grains. And, of course, talking about how awesome it is. That's what websites do. They promote their product and tell you how great. Yep. I haven't changed the label. Okay. Some of these companies have been updating their labels, and I got the old. Dope. Julie says, good morning, Ron and Bill. Hey, Julie. So, and he's saying, hi, Julie. Okay. So, smells like rye whiskey, you know what I mean if you've had rye. Now, if you've never had rye whiskey, it's hard to explain that to people because it's a unique grain. So to try to tell somebody it tastes and smells like pepper and menthol and all of these things. That's not, you got to try it. But people aren't going to generally watch things like this if they haven't tried it or are not interested in it. Okay, same thing here, the peppery spice menthol thing, but this one is more pronounced. We'll say that. So the one in my left hand, whatever it is, because I mixed them up fine and lost track. That's the best thing. I lose track because I don't want to know. This one has a more pronounced rye nose. And, of course, other grains. Now, could it be 100% rye? I mean, these aren't, but could they be? Sure, there's no rule against that. You can make it 100% rye, 99, 98, 97, going all the way down. But you can't go below 51. There has to be a majority grain. You say, well, what if you just want to make a whiskey with all different sorts of grains, none of them having a majority? That's fine. That would be fine. It would just be called whiskey. Those exist, no problem. Multi-grain whiskey ain't a problem. If you want it to be bourbon, it has to be 51% corn. If you want it to be corn whiskey, it has to be 51% corn, but in uncharred barrels. Rye, 51% rye. You want to have a wheat whiskey, 51% wheat. Okay. Beer House says, I like booze. Whiskey is good. Smiley face. Okay. All right, so the aroma, this is more pronounced and this is milder, but I still don't know which is which. I don't have a lot of experience with rye whiskey, but I'm planning to get it. I've got the old Overhault coming up. I got the Northern Harvest Rye from Crown Royal, 95% rye. Oh yeah, much less aroma here, but there is aroma, but it's less intense. That's the word. Okay, taste time. Cheers to you all here at dawn. It's going to be chilly out there. I like the heat. Louisiana's too cold for me. People in these northern states, I feel bad, you know. Of course, we have the trade-offs of hurricanes. Might have another one come. Julia says, Ron, you have a vast knowledge of spirits. I always learn something. Oh, thank you. Well, my knowledge did not come from, he just knows so much. It wasn't anything like that. It was from studying. Many hours of reading, mostly on the internet, and mostly on the Tax and Trade Bureau website, the United States government's Tax and Trade Bureau website. And they have a handbook. Well, I guess you could order the handbook paper, but it's a handbook, and it just tells you what the parameters are for being various products. They even have regulations on cocktails. A Moscow Mule must be this, a Sazerac. Well, they don't have a resurrection, right? They don't have a regulation for a Sazerac. Oddly, Bloody Mary must be this. I'm thinking, how could they enforce that? How would you ever enforce that? We got monitors. Oh, here's a federal agent watching this bartender mix a drink. Oh, you got it wrong. So those are the kind of regulations that have no practical meaning, but they exist. Good morning. Ooh, strong rye. Caleb said, good morning, Ron. Would you say the rye journey has been more enjoyable than the brandy journey? Please tap that thumbs up, folks, says Julie. Thank you. I would not necessarily agree with that. I like brandy, but that's made from grapes. Now, they got some very nasty brandies out there. I haven't tried them. I can't say they're nasty. I say nasty in a bad way because they have filler in them, grain spirits. I saw some of those at Total Wine. Brandy with grain spirits. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I ever want to drink what is supposed to be a grape product with grain mixed in? Answer, I wouldn't, and I have never bought them. I never bought the Clubhouse. I never bought the oh golly, what's that one that Total Wine has? It's not a Total Wine brand. They just have it. It's called Club something. It's like the cheapest one they got of every brandy, vodka, rum, gin. It's always the cheapest. It's called Club something. I know it's made by Sazerac. Sazerac makes very expensive products like Legend de Forge, cognac, which will cost hundreds of dollars, and then they make the cheapest junk in the world. Have you tried the newish Soul Chilada with no tomato juice? Is not very good, says Tip. I never heard of it. Oh, I tried perhaps. Okay. Dixie Baseman said, Jack Daniels Tennessee Rye surprised me. I actually picked up some because it was on sale along with Jim being bonded, and after the election delay, boy, did I need a drink. Yeah, we all do. They're both 90 proof, so if I start slurring and saying madcap things, don't blame me. Blame these companies for doing this to me. Well, the one on my left hand is stronger. It's just more pronounced, bolder. Let's use the word bolder. Bolder. Now you say, all the mountains boulder after you. Christian soldiers. Okay. If you like stronger flavors, you'd like this one. If you like milder flavors, you'd like the other one. Are they both good flavors? Oh, yeah. Cheers for Dawn Busters, says Dr. Frosty Brew. Are they both a good deal? Oh, yeah. Are they worth it? Oh, yeah. Am I enjoying them? Oh, yeah. Do they taste alike? Oh, no. Well. The one in my right hand has more of an charred oak presentation. Oh, boy. What did I say the other day? I said I thought the Sazerac had more of a charred oak, although I had it wrong. I thought it was the other product. But then I realized, oh, it's Sazerac. Let me remember that oak. The agent Kentucky, but they do have some barrels down there in New Orleans, but that's more just like for show. I mean, the whole thing is for show. The amount of Sazerac Rye they produce in New Orleans, Louisiana, is probably a very, very minuscule amount of the product. You understand? It's just for tourism and whatnot. I mean, I don't think they have any serious plans to make an actual a distillery in New Orleans. This is just a little micro or no nano distillery. And it's just basically to show how they make it. You know, they show all the steps in that little room. But it is actually made. They don't dump it. It's sent to Kentucky, where they finish it off and bottle it and sold back to New Orleans. So, because there's no bottling plant in New Orleans, there's no, I mean, for Sazerac, there's no blend. Well, they do have a room where they do, well, actually, there's a laboratory on like the 3rd floor, and they were in there testing things. So some of it might be sent there because they were in there, and I was looking at some of the brands they were testing, and they were like, you know, they do these analyses for them and test tubes and everything. And of course, the Sazerac Rye was one of them. But there were other brands they were checking out. Like one was a rum. And I think one was like Hartley brandy. I was like, oh no, they even put Hartley in a lab. And that's all they get out of it. Okay. But they might have just been, make sure that the quality control is there, and they taste it. Does it taste strange? Oh, yes. It's right. It's correct. And the lab assistant, doctor, is it supposed to taste like this? How does it taste? Strange, unusual. Oh, yes, that's it. You got it. Give it a green light. Highly recommended that you tour the Sazerac house. It's a cocktail museum is basically what it is, interactive museum. In other words, the whole purpose of that is so you can walk around and learn about cocktails and how the Sazerac company started and about coffee houses, and then learn about ingredients that go into products like rum, brandy, gin, beer, not beer, rum, gin, brandy, gin, whiskey, and so on. Then they let you taste different cocktails they make. So you get to taste them. And they're not stingy. And then you get to go down to the distillery and watch them make the rye. Maybe even let you taste it there. I don't know. The man that was the distillery master there said, well, you got to be real careful tasting this stuff, he said, because he said some of these guys went blind. And like they lost their eyesight because they were tasting that high proof whiskey, and they get in the habit of keep tasting it, you know. It's like tasting Everclear. Everclear is like almost 100% pure alcohol. And he said they went blind. I said, I thought it was only wood alcohol that does that. He said, that will do it, of course. But he said, but ethanol, grain alcohol will make you go blind because it's so toxic. And if you're drinking 100, 200 proof, 190 proof stuff, it's just madness. He says, I just very carefully taste it. Then there's a store where you can buy the whiskey or the rum or the brandy or the gin or well, they have a store. You can buy liquor there. And then they have a blended scotch from 1969. That's when they started aging it, and they age it for 50 years. And you can buy it. It's only $5,000. It's called The Last Drop. $5,000 a best offer. And you can buy Sazerac Rye there. But I don't buy anything there and you can buy all kind of glassware. There's a whole area of fancy, fancy, fancy glassware. And it's all expensive because it's a tourist area. And shirts and caps and keychains and all the things you would expect in a gift shop. And all the liquor is a little expensive. But what do you expect? Like I said, it's a tourist attraction, and you're going to pay elevated prices. So I just go to Walmart and get it way cheaper. See, The Dixie Baseman says, do you have any experience with pipe tobacco? Yes. Or cigars? Yes. And which of these ryes do you think would pair better with something mild like a Virginia flake? I don't have enough experience with quality, what you're talking about, so I can't comment on that. There's no video on the internet talking about what pairs with the Cheyenne extra menthol, you know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna it's sad that the government makes them put these ugly warnings on the beautiful packages. Cigarette and cigar packaging was so pretty. But your nanny state, Uncle Slugger said they had to put warnings. Like, you don't know that, because you're a child, you're an adult child, and you don't have enough brains to take care of yourself. But that's another lecture. I think, and I'm not very sure about this, but I think the Jack Daniels is stronger and bolder. More peppery because it's 70% rye. So I think this is the Jack Daniels. Is it better than the Sazerac? No, it's a tie on quality. They're both good. So which one wins? Nobody. All right. It's a tie. Same price. And both enjoyable flavors. So no winners, no losers. And this happens sometimes. Second part. Can I tell them apart? I think the rye from Sazerac, and there's more than one Sazerac Rye. If you look on their website, it's called Sazerac Rye 1. Sazerac Rye 1. Because there's an 18-year rye, which will be much more expensive than $22. So don't even entertain that idea that you're going to get that cheap, because it will not happen. There's an 18-year Sazerac Rye, very hard to find. Just like there's Eagle Rare and there's Double Eagle. Well, if you buy Double Eagle, you really better have some money laying around the house, because you're going to need it. And then there's Thomas Handy Rye. So that one is very expensive, and I don't know who sells that. But the Sazerac Rye is their base model. They have 3 levels of rye whiskey. There may be still on the market, I don't know, something called Old Superior and something else called I can't remember. There were 2 rye whiskeys that Sazerac made a long time ago, and it looks like they consolidated them into Sazerac Rye and let the other 2 die out. But they might have kept them around for trademarks. So they might produce a few little bottles here and there just to be on the shelf so they don't lose it. Like, apparently Pabst still produces a few cases of Falstaff beer every 7 years. So their trademark doesn't lapse. Somebody told me, yeah, it was along the Mexican border, some obscure grocery store they had it. I say, right, that's why they put it there. So it'd be someplace where nobody would see it practically. And but then they could say, well, we selling it, in a technical sense, not in a real sense. So does Sazerac still make those other 2 ryes? It's possible, because I'm sure they don't want other people making it. But anyway, enough of that. Night Train Express for life. No longer produced. Apparently that's been discontinued. My go-to beer is Hurricane High Gravity. I was drinking that before Hurricane Katrina, and we could get it for $3.99 a 12-pack. But one day I was sipping on it while I was reading National Geographic magazine, and I said, man, this stuff's too strong and chewy. It's like I'm eating a beer. So I stopped buying it. But when it first came out in 2005, for those few months, I was buying 12-packs. And I enjoyed it. But it was just, and it's a good flavor, but it was too strong. Little. Okay. For me, you understand? Too strong for me. Might be perfect for you. That's why I always qualify my statements when I'll say stuff like, well, the beer is good, but it's too strong for me. Some people they'll make definitive statements like, this beer is too strong. But what they mean is it's too strong in my opinion, but some people have a totalitarian mindset. In other words, if they don't like it, that means it's bad. No, it just means you don't like it. You say, well, what about camo beers? You slung it up against the fence. Yes. I thought it was an atrocity. But some people like it. Why? I do not know. I do not know why somebody would drink that. I do not know why somebody would drink those Four Loko beers. They must be loco. I don't know why they drink Earthquake, but they do. People buy it. I mean, so in my mind, it's horrendous. But in their mind, oh yeah, I'm going to drink some Earthquake. And I know a man. He works for the Anheuser-Busch distributor. That's his job, making sure they got the right stuff on the shelf. He says, I like Four Loko. 14% now, 24-ounce can. I'll go get some and go home, drink some after work. It's fine. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. You know, I just can't conceive that you would do that. An Earthquake, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, we're in different worlds, man. Yeah, Night Train is gone, but Thunderbird, yeah, apparently is still around, and they got three types of it now, 3 different versions, new bottles. They're looking fancy now. Still cheap stuff, but I found some bottles, but they were so expired. They were so old. I said, I'm not buying them. I want to get something at least reasonably fresh. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the Jack Daniels, and that's the Sazerac. Ha, got it. I do feel good about it because at first I couldn't tell them apart, and then I started getting a handle on the flavor of Sazerac. So when you're drinking that Sazerac, you look for one thing: the marker. What's the marker? What's the signpost? If you're a Freemason, it's that charred oak. My brother loves that Four Loko stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. All right. Apparently, millions of people a day love it. I don't know why. All right. So next, I'm going to do a solo review for Friday of George Dickel No. 12 bourbon. Well, Tennessee whiskey. Well, Tennessee whiskey, as you know, is a type of bourbon. I don't know much about that product. I know it's been on the market since 1964, and that's about all I know. Apparently, people like it. I haven't watched a single video review. I intend to. Then I'm going to do taste challenges. Dickel No. 12 versus everybody else. How that's going to pan out, I do not know. I got Woodford Reserve. I got Stedman Select. Got Blanton's. Got Jack Daniel's Green Label. Tom Sims 4-year-old bourbon. Should have bought the 6-year. Didn't do it. Got Old Crow. Do I have any Old Crow left? Old Crow. Oh, Bellows straight bourbon whiskey, aged 4 years. Oh yeah, I got a lot of stuff to go in there with, go to battle with, you know. You understand? Catch my drift? Catch what I'm saying? I hear a guy, I work with a guy, he always says it. Catch what I'm saying? Haha, the warning labels do get in the way of the beautiful artwork. The Benson and Hedges Menthol Deluxe I get from the United Kingdom used to have great artwork. Yeah, I just don't support totalitarian government. Whether it's Boris Johnson and merry old England and his dictatorial ways, or anywhere, I just don't support it. You say, well, left wing, right wing, I don't support it if it's totalitarian. I know the whiskey scout Robert has a great palate for fine liquors as well as Ron, and he may know about fine cigars as well. Check out his channel. He might. There was a guy that used to do beer and cigars. Then he just disappeared. Then he had this grand comeback. I'm back. And I thought, that ain't going to last. It never lasts. You know, when they make a comeback, it never lasts. I'm revitalized. I'm back. And then you'll see 2 videos and never see him again. But he's gone with the wind, I'm afraid. Anyway, thanks for watching this video production. I got it right. I am proud of myself, really. And John Neely, yep. Like watching him. And but no winner. Both are good. Tie. Buy them both. It's an approach conflict. Either choice you make, you win. And that's the best conflict to have. So Jack Daniel's Rye, Sazerac Rye, winner. Beautiful. Fabulous. So thank you for watching this video production. Everybody take care now.